captain's scream of disbelief tore through the precinct radio. You just confiscated the car of the man who signed your last paycheck. Reverse the order, now. Officer Rourke's mouth gaped open in a silent, horrified realization. He fumbled desperately at his equipment, and a heavy, official soundless squad car keychain dropped and clattered onto the curb. A high-pitched, insistent alarm, the sound of the precinct's entire communications system going offline, blared from the dashboard. This was the crushing, catastrophic climax of his error. The sound of his authorities shattering under the weight of financial power he had fatally challenged. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the cobblestone streets of the financial district in Lower Manhattan. Mr. Marcus Thorne, a man of dark complexion in his late 30s and the CEO of the rapidly expanding security and technology firm Sentinel Dynamics, was legally parked, making a secure data transfer on his work laptop inside his custom, high-performance electric sedan. The stillness was shattered by the brutal sound of a persistent horn and the blare of a police siren. Officer Jason Rourke approached the vehicle, his stance aggressive and impatient. You think this is your personal parking spot, pal? This vehicle is improperly parked in a loading zone. Show me the proof of ownership right now, or I'm having it impounded. You are blocking city traffic. The confrontational opening was immediate. The injustice was blatant. Thorne was parked legally in an authorized, low-traffic zone known to his building security, and the aggression was instantly elevated far beyond a simple ticket. Mr. Thorne was the victim silently hurt by the casual assumption of illegality and the immediate threat to his valuable property. Mr. Thorne slowly powered down his laptop, placing it gently on the passenger seat. He rolled down the window, revealing his calm, professional demeanor. "Officer," he said, his voice deep and measured, "I am aware of the regulations. This is a 5-minute authorized stop. I have the proper permit visible on the dash." "I don't see any permit, and I don't believe you," Rourke sneered, leaning down to look inside the luxury car. The ominous hint of future reversal, faint but powerful, lingered in the room. The quiet, almost bored patience on Mr. Thorne's face, the self-control of a man who handled multi-million-dollar deals daily, promised a reckoning far greater than the officer could imagine. Fresh, unique opening style, focus on immediate, false accusation of parking violation, and the threat of seizure against a symbol of earned, massive wealth. Officer Rourke, blinded by the sight of the expensive, customized sedan and the man of dark complexion inside it, dismissed Thorne's status and professionalism instantly. He was loud, arrogant, and determined to assert dominance. "Step out of the car, hand where I can see them. I think this vehicle might be operating under fraudulent registration." Rourke barked, shoving his hand onto the roof of the car. "I see this all the time. Guys like you rent these things to look important." The discrimination was blatant, fueled by classist and racial assumptions that Thorne's success must be a facade. Mr. Thorne suffered emotionally, feeling the familiar, burning humiliation of being judged not by his competence, but by his color and the vehicle he owned. The public nature of the stop, right outside his corporate headquarters, compounded the disrespect. "Officer Rourke," Mr. Thorne replied, using the officer's name tag. "You need to relax. I am the CEO of Sentinel Dynamics. This car is registered to my company. You are about to create an unnecessary legal incident." Rourke laughed sharply. "CEO? Yeah, right. I'm the King of England. If you're so important, where's your driver? And if you're the CEO, why are you illegally parked? Your story doesn't check out." He reached for the keys, attempting to remove them from the ignition. Silent strength added even as Rourke reached into the car. Mr. Thorne remained passive. He did not pull the keys away. Instead, he maintained perfect eye contact with the officer and, with slow, controlled movements, unclipped the small custom-made Sentinel Dynamics branded lapel pin from his suit and placed it deliberately on the dashboard, positioning it precisely to catch the light. This small, non-verbal act of dignity, a silent, physical assertion of his corporate identity, was his quiet promise that he would endure the indignity, but would not allow the disrespect to stand unchallenged. The tension surged as Officer Rourke, ignoring the visible corporate pin, yanked the keys out of the ignition. Impounding confirmed. This vehicle is coming with us. You can argue with the desk sergeant. A low-status relative intervened. Mr. Davies, the building's elderly security guard who knew Mr. Thornwell, rushed out. "Officer, that's Mr. Thorne. He owns the 18th floor. And that car is registered with my office. You can't take it. Rourke turned and pointed his finger, silencing the guard. I don't care if he owns the city. This is official police business. Interference is a crime. Back inside. The rookie officer accompanying Rourke moved quickly to usher the distraught guard back into the lobby. Rourke had successfully silenced the low-status intervention. However, a high-status character was watching. Chief Inspector Vance, the precinct commander who was driving past after an urgent community meeting, saw the crowd, the officer's aggressive posture, and recognized the Sentinel Dynamics logo on the adjacent skyscraper. She knew Mr. Thorne's company was involved in high-level city contracts. Chief Inspector Vance started paying attention. Officer Rourke, high on the power of the seizure, ignored the commander's approaching vehicle. He reached for the tow truck request form on his clipboard. You're getting a ticket for obstruction, fraudulent registration, and I'm seizing the vehicle as potential evidence of crime. He pushed Thorne's shoulder, directing him toward the sidewalk. The atmosphere had shifted from a parking violation to a public, petty seizure of property based purely on prejudice. The public humiliation was complete. Mr. Thorne, pushed onto the sidewalk, watched Rourke radio for the tow truck. He felt the weight of the injustice. Not just the loss of the car, but the assumption that he, a man who built his success from the ground up, could only acquire such wealth through illegal means. Rourke returned to the car, searching the interior. He found Mr. Thorne's secure corporate portfolio case, the one containing the company's financial records and contract details. Rourke opened it, hoping to find contraband or cash. He found instead a stack of highly encrypted, official city contract documents marked NYC Police Department Technology Integration, Phase 2. Rourke, unable to understand the dense legal and technical language, scoffed. More fake documents. Now we have forgery, too. He crumpled the Phase 2 summary sheet into his pocket. This was Rourke's final monumental error. He had crumpled a summary of the contract detailing the very technology system that powered his squad car. The audience needed to feel the bitter irony. The officer was seizing the property of the man whose company held his professional life, his patrol car system, his radio system, his database access, in its corporate hands. The story now hangs at the moment of peak crisis. The CEO's car is about to be towed. He's been falsely charged, and Rourke has unknowingly pocketed a sensitive city document. Just before the shocking reveal, we want to take a quick moment to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. The tow truck rounded the corner, its engine rumbling. Rourke smiled triumphantly, stepping toward the sedan's front door to retrieve the final registration document from the glove box before the vehicle was hooked up. Mr. Thorne knew he had seconds before the car, and the sensitive tech inside was out of his control. He reached into his coat pocket for his own device, a small, highly secure military-grade communications handset. Mr. Thorne spoke 3 final, devastating words into the device, his voice cold, steady, and utterly authoritative. Sentinel. Code Black. Shut down. The command, Sentinel. Code Black. Shut down was not a threat. It was an execution order on a massive scale. The immediate effect was chillingly quiet, but devastatingly effective. Officer Rourke, reaching into the sedan's glove compartment, froze. His radio, the crucial link to dispatch, went dead. The lights on his dashboard flickered and died. His MDT mobile data terminal. Screen turned a blank, unsettling gray. His squad car, dependent on Sentinel Dynamics' proprietary software for its communications and tracking, was now an inert metal box. Rourke pulled his head out, his expression morphing from smug victory to baffled annoyance. Did the battery die? Before he could process the localized failure, the entire street became a scene of technological chaos. The tow truck driver's GPS unit blipped off. The nearby city traffic lights, monitored by the same Sentinel network, briefly stuttered, throwing the intersection into disarray. Just then, Chief Inspector Vance, who had been watching the scene, slammed on her brakes. Her own city-issued phone blared with a high priority, citywide alert. Sentinel Dynamics network critical failure. Code black initiated. Unauthorized shutdown. The truth reveal hit Rourke like a physical blow. He looked from his dead squad car to the furious chief inspector's face, and then finally back to Mr. Marcus Thorne, who stood on the sidewalk, calm and waiting. Mr. Thorne, seeing the chief inspector's arrival, spoke. "Inspector Vance, I apologize for the inconvenience. As CEO of Sentinel Dynamics, I just initiated a system-wide shutdown protocol. This officer was attempting to illegally impound a vehicle containing critical infrastructure data. Since the officer dismissed my identity and property, I had to ensure the city's proprietary security assets were not compromised by unauthorized personnel." The underestimated person was revealed as the essential power source of the entire police network. Rourke's confidence instantly collapsed. The captain's arrival and the city-wide panic confirmed the general's immense status. The magnitude of the financial and infrastructural disaster Rourke had caused, all over a petty parking violation, silenced him completely. The wrongdoers went silent. Chief Inspector Vance moved with the speed and decisiveness of a commander facing a multi-million-dollar crisis. She ignored Rourke, walking straight to Mr. Thorne, her demeanor one of utter professional deference. "Mr. Thorne," Vance said, her voice tight with apology. "I am Chief Inspector Vance. My deepest apologies. I was watching the situation unfold. I assure you, we are reversing all actions taken by this officer immediately. Can you please authorize the system restart?" Mr. Thorne nodded, but his gaze was locked on Officer Rourke, who was now stumbling backward, desperately trying to power up his dead equipment. "The system is offline until I receive a full report on how Officer Rourke justified seizing a vehicle he had no probable cause to suspect," Mr. Thorne stated, making his demand for justice institutional. "And until the documents he confiscated are safely returned to me." The audience witnessed a reversal as Rourke, who had been the picture of arrogant authority only minutes before, was now reduced to a whimpering mess, utterly powerless against a man whose property he tried to steal. This was instant karma delivered through financial and technological leverage. Chief Inspector Vance turned on Officer Rourke with cold fury. "Rourke, hand over all property you took. Now!" Rourke fumbled in his pockets, pulling out the car keys and the crumpled Phase 2 contract summary he had dismissed as fake. As he handed the crumpled paper to the chief inspector, he was shaking so badly he dropped his police radio on the street. "You are relieved of duty, Rourke," Vance stated, her voice resonating with finality. "Your actions have compromised city infrastructure and violated the civil rights of primary city contractor. You are terminated, effective immediately. Get in my vehicle. I'm taking you downtown for processing." Rourke's public humiliation was absolute. He was disarmed and disgraced by his own commander on a street corner in front of the building of the man he tried to frame. Mr. Thorne watched Rourke being escorted away, a profound weariness settling over him. The injustice, though reversed, always took a toll. He turned to the elderly security guard, Mr. Davies, who had witnessed the entire scene. Mr. Thorne walked over, placing a gentle hand on the old man's shoulder, a crucial family connection moment, acknowledging the shared experience of injustice. "Thank you for speaking up for me, Mr. Davies. Your courage meant more than any system update." Mr. Davies was visibly moved. "You were right, Mr. Thorne. You were right." Chief Inspector Vance quickly completed the required paperwork. She handed Mr. Thorne the keys and the recovered documents. "Mr. Thorne, I assure you, internal affairs will not stop until Rourke is fully prosecuted. We cannot allow this kind of prejudice to operate. We rely entirely on Sentinel Dynamics to keep the city safe." Mr. Thorne nodded, accepting the assurance. His dignity was fully restored not just by getting his car back, but by forcing the system to confront its own flaw, that a biased officer could compromise the safety of the entire force. Mr. Thorne settled back into his customized sedan. Before starting the engine, he reached for the control panel. He initiated the system restart sequence and made a final adjustment. He created a new, a netedable user protocol across the entire Sentinel network that instantly flagged any traffic stop involving the CEO's personal vehicle to be simultaneously monitored by the Chief Inspector's office, a technical fix to prevent future prejudice. He then took a moment for deep reflection. The system Rourke served was only as good as the technology Mr. Thorne provided. Rourke had lost his power the moment he mistook the source of true authority, which was not the badge, but the earned competence and financial power of the man he tried to oppress. Life improved for Mr. Thorne. He was back in control, safe, and his company had just leveraged its own critical status to deliver swift institutional justice. The moral lesson was simple and final. Arrogance based on assumed authority always crumbles when it challenges earned power and essential truth. The calm ending was Mr. Thorne driving away slowly into the New York evening, the Sentinel systems blinking back to life across the precinct, quietly restoring order. As he drove, he paused a red light and a single private tear, a silent emotional release of the persistent nature of prejudice, tracked down his cheek before he wiped it away and focused back on the road.